Good morning, everybody. Today is September 27th. The time is 10 a.m. and I'd like to welcome everybody to the Curriculum Committee meeting. We have all members but Ms. Heintel present. I'd like to call this meeting to order and I need an approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. Approval of the meeting minutes from August 23rd.
So moved.
Oh,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
3-0. Okay, Dr. Rogers, take it away.
All right, sure. Good morning, board members. Good morning, Dr. Houlihan. We have several action items today. We're going to start with some purchases on our agenda, and I'd like to begin with the switch EV purchase. So CTE is requesting approval for this purchase to be able to update the hybrid and EV local course option, which goes along within our automotive pathway. So you've received the memo regarding the purchase. Are there any questions?
You need a motion to approve and send to the full board?
So moved. Oh,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Okay, 3-0.
Okay, fantastic. Next, we have a sole source purchase for SkillStruck. This is also through our CTE department. The SkillStruck will help support Python programming. You did receive the memo regarding the details. And are there any questions about SkillStruck?
No.
Need a motion to send to the full board?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0.
Thank you.
Okay.
So our final sole source purchase is through Riverside Insights. This is for AIG. AIG is requesting this purchase to be able to buy COGAT licenses, and that is part of our universal screening system for and through AIG. You received the memo with those details as well. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. Focus school plan funding.
Okay, I would like to kick it off with Dr. Houlihan in regards to the presentation.
All right. Good morning, everyone,
Morning.
and happy Wednesday. So we are here today to present the 2023-24 plan for our focus schools. As a reminder, this is a plan that we implemented across 13 schools last year that were identified by the state of North Carolina as low performing. We have identified 7 of those schools for this year, as well as several others that we are going to keep on this plan as a proactive way to avoid regression and to continue the positive academic momentum that we've had from the prior year. This plan is going to be funded, and Ms. McLean will talk about this, a combination of ESSER, federal, state, and local, but assuming this is the last year of ESSER funds, the majority of this will be funded through that grant. And so I am going to let Dr. Tyson and Dr. Rogers kind of go through the actual presentation. And if you have any questions as we go along, the majority of this will probably not be new to you on this committee. And again, this is work that we began last year comprehensively across these schools that we are going to continue with this year and really double down on those strategies and efforts that are proving to work. So Dr. Tyson, I will turn it over to you first.
All right, well, thank you and good morning, everyone. If we could go ahead and share the presentation and go to slide 2. When slide 2 is up, I'll begin talking just a little bit about the focus school plan for this school year. Slide 2 contains all of the schools that will be engaged in this work for this school year. You'll see that some of the schools that may be moved out of low performing are still on the list. You'll see when you see the schools with the asterisks beside their name, those are the schools that have been identified as low performing for the 23-24 school year. I think we're having a slight amount of technical difficulty. If we could get that slideshow going, and then I'll proceed. But Dr. Houlihan did do a great job just really letting everyone know why we will continue with the focus school plan, even for the schools that may be moved out of low performing. If you think back to our previous board meeting where we celebrated such amazing results, and we've been celebrating really the entire month. Much of the reason that we were able to move the needle forward and move these schools in a positive direction was this focus school plan. So with this being the last year of ESSER funding, we are going to continue to provide these turnaround efforts at all the schools on the list. Also, I'll just pause for 1 second.
And Ms. McShane, do you want me to try to share my screen? Let me go ahead and do that. Okay, am I sharing my screen?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me. Bear with me, my apologies. Okay, let me try one more time. Hang on. So let me get the slideshow going from beginning. Here we go. All right, are you able to see my screen?
No, you had it up and then it was closed.
Okay. All right, how about now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If you'll just move to slide 2, I'll pick up where I left off. Yes, ma'am. Great. So as you can see, and as I alluded to earlier, the schools with the asterisks beside their name are the schools that have been identified as low performing for the 23-24 school year. The other schools are schools that potentially moved out of low performing or was a focus school last year. And we're going to continue with that treatment and implement this plan at those schools. The one thing that I will note before moving to the next slide, the 2 new schools to this plan would be Sun Valley Middle School and Piedmont Middle School.
All right, so here is our focus school plan, including 7 components, and we will now just take a closer look at each component.
So effective leadership, that really is focused on the building level leaders in the building. Of course, we'll talk a little bit about executive coaching here with Public Impact, which is a vendor that we have utilized in the past. There will be an action item. There is an amendment in your packet that you will note that will be an action item to continue that contract throughout this school year and provide executive coaching through that consultant group. Also, the 2 things that I would highlight that are new this year that we did not do last year is one, in Assistant Principal Academy, we are going to put together a collaborative group, PLC, Professional Learning Communities meeting. That will be where assistant principals that are engaged in this work come together when we have AP Academy and they share best practices. And then the other thing that of effective leadership that's on the screen is the last bullet is the transformation principal pipeline. In last week's superintendent's update, you received the participants in that pipeline. These are aspiring principals that are currently APs, and they really have expressed a great interest in learning our focus school plan, our focus school work. They want to grow in this area of leadership, so potentially one day they will be well equipped to lead this turnaround work in a school throughout our district. It's brand new, it's something we're really excited about. But aside from the traditional principal pipeline, where we're giving more of a holistic view of being a principal in Union County, now we're more laser focused on this focus school plan and growing leaders to lead turnaround work in our schools.
All right, so we are also building and supporting effective teachers. We will focus on these key components on the screen in order to build teacher capacity and build teacher effectiveness, because we know that supporting our teachers is our high priority, our number one priority. Working on these items also provides a common operating language within schools and across schools. So when we look at professional learning communities or PLCs, that training will be provided by Solution Tree this year. With our district supported PLCs, that will include the focus areas of 5th and 8th grade science, 6th and 8th grade ELA, 8th grade math, math 1, and biology. I'm looking at the collaboration with the district instructional team. Our academics team is partnering with our school performance team with instructional walkthroughs. That includes the principal and the principal's leadership team. So our main purpose is to notice patterns and trends to be able to respond to the instruction going on within our focus school and remove any barriers with the patterns noticed. The principal also gets feedback regarding the instructional walkthroughs. We will continue the super evaluations as required by NCDPI, and our teachers are also supported with structured lesson plans as well. With our daily intensive tutoring model, we will focus on 2nd, 4th, 7th grade and math 1 in math. Our 2nd grade math and reading pilot began last year, and we are expanding that pilot this year. The reading tutoring is focused on our foundational literacy skills, and tutoring is for all of our focus schools. Next, we'll be supporting positive culture and climate. Our focus schools will participate in the PD that you see on the screen here. What is new for this school year is professional development around trust and inspire and multipliers. So this is building off of the work last year where our focus schools participated in the 4 essential rules of leadership and the speed of trust through Covey. And so this is phase 2 by adding trust and inspire and multipliers. So we are continuing with our engagement strategies. That's the Health Science Academy within the Monroe cluster, Ag Tech within the Forest Hills cluster, and then sustainable energy within the Parkwood cluster. We will continue monitoring discipline and attendance through our key performance indicator process.
So really, there's not a lengthy explanation for more time in school. More time in school is exactly what you would think that it would be. It's providing opportunities for our students at these focus schools outside of their traditional learning day and providing them additional opportunities to be engaged in learning activities. Of course, you see a couple of examples on the screen. That is in no way an exhaustive list of all of the creative ways that we try to provide additional opportunities for students. I will just highlight summer programming. We have had very successful summer programs in the past, and we will continue that this summer. Of course, it is a little too early for us to delineate exactly what we will have in place in the summer. And then the summer jumpstart, that's something that was somewhat new to me, but has been successful, allowing students in the transition grades come in earlier and really go through the onboarding process of schooling before the school year starts, so they can hit the ground running and be successful really from day one. So something there that we'd like to celebrate, continue, and potentially expand.
So the differentiated compensation that we implemented as part of this process last year included our 5 original focus schools. On the screen, you'll see listed the 2 different models. So our 5 original schools were already receiving a $1,750 for core teachers and a high priority bonus of $1,750. None of that criteria will be changing for this coming school year. The additional focus schools, we are going to have to adjust some of the criteria for those payments due to the expiration of ESSER funding. The timing of when the data that we would originally need to have available won't be available at the time that the funding expires, which is at the end of September of 2024. So the criteria will include the teacher performance data and the employee summary evaluation information.
And then the final piece is wraparound services, supporting our students at these schools and really all schools. When you think about our wraparound services, and you've heard about this in the past, but a lot of this is outside agencies, specifically the Department of Health and Human Services and our collaborative to provide the social workers. We do have the district lead counselors, the nurses in every school, and then the flexible staffing there that's highlighted on the screen, that provides opportunity for schools, or our focus schools, to select individuals that best fit their needs in their building, because we do have diverse needs across Union County Public Schools. The one thing that I will highlight here that's on the screen in the middle is the ELL support. You heard a presentation approximately 2 months ago from Dr. Daniels about the growing need for ELL support. We are using some ESSER funding to support that department, and we recognize that that is a growing need in our district, and it will continue to grow not only in our funding, or excuse me, in our focus schools, but across our district. So once ESSER sunsets, that's something that we're going to have to pay close attention to for sustainability purposes moving forward.
All right, so you've also received the memo regarding the focus school plan funding information, and right now we will open it up to questions.
I have a question, but this is just a general question. Why are the middle schoolers performing so much lower than, like, why is it always the middle school? Is it just because the transition from elementary to middle? I mean, that just seems, it's always the middle schoolers that are always lower performing. Or
Yeah, I'll start, and then I want Dr. Tyson to make a few points. So we have noticed trend even before the pandemic that when you compare elementary performance and high school, our middle schools are traditionally the lower performing of the group. That is a statewide trend as well. There is probably no specific reason for that, but I will tell this committee that one of the things I am looking at is really evaluating kind of how we just do middle school, right? Between the master schedule, the way we do course offerings, kind of a whole comprehensive review. And I am looking at possibly piloting next year in a handful of our middle schools, something maybe different from an academic standpoint, to really try to move that needle even more. So I will be coming back to this committee probably second semester with an update on just middle school progress or changes we might want to make for the following year. But to answer your question, I'll let Dr. Tyson hit on a few key points that we've noticed, particularly as it relates to accountability.
All right, so thank you, Dr. Houlihan, and that's a very good question. One thing that I would say is we have been in constant ongoing discussions as a leadership team and with Dr. Plew and his team about middle school and maybe middle school redesign, but really just paying close attention to every student every day. And the reason that that's so important is with the accountability model as it is structured, it's the only level that every kid counts multiple times into your accountability score, right? So we have to be very intentional. At the elementary level, your K2 kids don't factor in. At the high school level, you have various indicators. So we really have to be very laser focused and targeted. At the first leveled middle school meeting, Dr. Plew and his team went through several key strategies and walkthroughs. I know Dr. Rogers and her team has been a part of getting into our middle schools and really focusing on what's going on in the classrooms from an instructional standpoint. And are we really stretching our kids to be as successful as we possibly can? We do not have all the answers, but we are paying close attention. We are working very diligently to solve these issues. And we're trying to just get better at Tier 1 instruction and then provide the resources in addition to support our students in grades 6 through 8, along with all other students that we support in Union County Public Schools.
I want to make one more comment, particularly or specifically around middle school literacy. Our teachers have begun asking us, our elementary teachers have gone through 2 years of training on science of reading and letters. And so what happens when kids get to the middle school and we have not had that training because that has not been a state mandate? What is really our vision for middle school literacy? And so we've put together a cross-functional team between administrators and middle school teachers and district staff to really evaluate the literacy practices across all middle schools, as well as possibly additional curricular resources that we might need in the future. to continue that momentum from elementary to middle when it comes to the alignment between how we do literacy instruction in elementary and how that can continue all the way through middle grade. So that'll probably be another update you're going to receive later this year, specifically tied to middle school literacy.
I have a question. Out of the 16 schools, I'm sorry, Ms. Green, did you have another question?
No, sorry.
All right, no, you're fine. Out of the 16 schools that our focus is on, how many of these schools are Title I?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2. I believe the answer is 5. I can confirm that with Dr. Daniels and send that to you after this meeting, but I believe
Okay.
5. Is that correct, Ms. McLean? I see you shaking your head. Is that correct?
Yes, it's 5 that we support with Title I funds. Plus you have Monroe Middle, East Union, and Monroe High that we provide comparable services to.
Correct.
Okay. So my next question is going to have 3 questions, I believe. So let me go to the slide about wraparound services. The agency partnerships, I see the mental health and behavior and what have you, but what other agencies are we looking to provide, or we already are providing when we talk about agency partnerships?
Well, I mean, if you come back to the engagement strategy, we have a partnership with Atrium,
Right.
and also we have the teletherapy as well that we're using at our middle and high schools now.
Gotcha. So there are no agencies that help deal with, I know we have CT and what have you, but help support career pathway, or for example, I know in CMS we have, you have communities and schools, you have Make Ed, those agencies that support the schools they are contracted in to help with the needs that particular schools have. And so do we have any agencies that we have contracted in that help support the overall educational success of students?
I would just add, when we go back to the clusters that have the engagement strategies like Atrium, with AgTech, we work with the North Carolina cooperative. So we're building those partnerships as we go, but as far as community and schools, not at this time.
Right. I'm from, yeah, I know we don't have communities in schools.
There are another handful of other agencies. Like one that comes to mind is the Boys and Girls Club, right? We do a lot of work with them from a partnership standpoint, particularly at Walter Bickett Elementary,
Right.
I believe Monroe Middle, East Union, some other elementaries as well. So there are some of those other agencies. The other thing I'll tell you is this morning at SPTT, Ms. Giddens and Mr. McCraw did a presentation on this very subject. And I would encourage you to watch that section of that presentation, and or it's in board docs in that committee meeting. And I'll be happy to let Mr. McGraw give you a call to explain or identify other agencies that maybe they're aware of that maybe this crew is not. So, because I think Ms. Giddens went into some other services that we provide around play therapy and therapeutic services and those kinds of things.
Okay. My next question, talking about effective teachers, because I know that teachers are you have students that don't have successful teachers, effective teachers. That can be a challenge. And I mentioned one time before about a program called Call Me Mr. Are you all familiar with that program?
I am not.
Okay, so
Yes,
the
sir.
Call Me Mr. program is is a program that focuses on helping to develop African-American males who are interested in going into the education field. And Western Carolina has the program, Clemson, Coastal Carolina, South Carolina State, Johnson C. Smith, I believe. Quite a few schools have that program. I would, if we could, try to make contact with them, because it's very important that a lot of our schools who have a lot of African American males and minorities, that I think that will help with our students being able to see someone they can relate to and connect with, especially in a diverse culture that we all live in. And I think that would be a program that I think would help us as it pertains to making sure we helping to assist along with what you already have with having effective teachers. So if you guys could look into it, I think it would be worth your research and beneficial.
Sure. I'm happy to explore that and research that a little bit and
Yes, ma'am.
find out more about it. Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. And that's my last question. I support the work that you guys are doing. I believe this is really going to be successful and effective, and I'm looking forward to seeing great strides this year because of this improvement plan that you guys have.
I just had a question. Are we still hiring tutors? Like, do we still need tutors?
Yes, that is a fluid process of recruiting and hiring tutors for our focus schools.
Any other questions?
Yeah, when can we switch the hours to match, elementary and high school?
We are reviewing all of that as we speak.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents.
Oops, I need a motion to send this to the full board.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. Public impact contract amendment.
Yes, ma'am. This is our last item for approval. This is the contract for the executive coaching professional development referred to in the focus school plan. Dr. Tyson described it under effective leadership. You've received the memo regarding more details, and are there any questions about public impact?
Need a motion to send this to the full board?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0. Our next meeting is going to be October 25th at 10 a.m. via Zoom, and I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 3-0. Thanks, everybody. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
You all have a
day.
great